You slip out of your mother, somewhere in South America. You're not alone. Over 20 siblings slide out with you, all landing in the shallow water at once. Your mother's body twists slightly as the last of you are born. Then she turns and swims away without looking back. You're on your own now, all of you are, and the water around you is already moving with predators. You need to find cover, so you start swimming toward the nearest vegetation. Your body moves in smooth waves, pushing you forward through the murky water. Some of your siblings scatter in different directions, while others follow the same path you've chosen. The flooded roots and hanging plants ahead look safe, so you push harder to reach them. Then something large moves through the water nearby. It's a cayman, young but still twice your size, with its body low and its eyes scanning the surface. You freeze between two submerged roots and press yourself flat against the mud. The cayman drifts closer, its tail sweeping side to side, and you stay completely still. One of your siblings panics and tries to swim away, so the cayman lunges and snaps its jaws around the small body, dragging it under in a single motion. You don't move for hours after that. The cayman patrols the area twice more before finally swimming off downstream, and only then do you push deeper into the vegetation. Your stomach is empty and you need to eat, so when a small fish darts past your head, you strike. Your jaws close around its body and you coil once, squeezing until it stops moving. Then you swallow it whole, feeling it slide down your throat. You've survived your first day, but the water is full of things that see you as food. For now, you're the prey. Skip forward a bit, and you're 6 months old now. You're nearly 1.5 meters long, and you've learned how to hunt from below the surface. You position yourself near the riverbank with only your nostrils above the water, waiting for something to come close. Your body stays completely still while the current moves around you, and nothing on land can tell you're there. Then a capybara walks down to the water's edge. It stops and lowers its head to drink, standing just a few steps from where you're waiting. You watch its front legs shift closer, then closer again until it's within range. You need to move fast, so you push forward and lunge out of the water with your jaws opening wide. Your teeth sink into its back leg and it tries to pull away, but you're already dragging it backward into the river. The capybara kicks and thrashes as the water closes over its head, trying to break free, but you coil your body around its chest and start squeezing. Your muscles tighten with each breath it tries to take, making it harder for air to reach its lungs. It struggles for several minutes, twisting and kicking, but your grip doesn't loosen. Then its movements slow, and a few seconds later, it stops fighting completely. You hold it under for a while longer just to be sure, then you release your coils and let the body float. Your jaws are still locked around its leg, so you start working your mouth forward over its head. Your jaw stretches wider than your skull, the ligaments pulling loose to make space, and you slowly pull the capybara's body into your throat. It takes nearly half an hour to swallow it all, but eventually the last of it disappears and you feel the weight settle inside you. You've made your first big kill, but something upstream has noticed the commotion. You're 2 years old now, and you've claimed a stretch of river where prey comes regularly. You're lying on the muddy bank with your body stretched out in the sun, letting the heat warm your scales, when another anaconda appears in the water. She's older than you, maybe 4 meters long, and she swims straight into your hunting area without stopping. You need to defend this space, so you slide back into the river and position yourself between her and the spot where animals usually come to drink. She sees you and keeps moving forward, so you open your mouth wide to show your teeth. She does the same, then suddenly pushes toward you with her head low. You coil and meet her in the water, both of you trying to wrap around the other's body and gain control. Your muscles strain as you squeeze, but she's heavier and stronger, so she twists out of your grip and pushes you backward. You try again, lunging at her side, but she turns faster than you expect and drives her head into your body, forcing you down. You can't match her weight, so you release and let the current carry you downstream away from her. She doesn't follow, just holds her position in the water and watches you go. You swim farther down the river until you find another section with decent cover and slower water. Then you pull yourself onto the bank and wait. This area isn't as good as the one you just lost. Fewer animals pass through here and the hunting spots aren't as clear, but it's yours now. You coil loosely near the water's edge and stay still, watching the surface for movement. Size wins in this river, and right now you're not big enough to hold the best territory, but you're still growing, and eventually you'll be the one who doesn't back down. You're 4 years old, and hunting has become routine until today. You're waiting in the shallows when you spot a deer walking down to the water downstream, alone and unaware. You need a meal this size, so you slide deeper under the surface and start moving toward it with only your eyes and nostrils breaking the water. The deer lowers its head to drink, and you're almost close enough to strike when something massive moves beside you. It's a black cayman, over 4 meters long with jaws built for crushing bone. It sees the deer too, and charges from the bank, so you lunge forward at the same time and clamp your jaws around the deer's back leg. The cayman bites down on its neck from the other side, and the deer screams as both of you pull in opposite directions. You coil around its body and squeeze, trying to drag it into deeper water, but the cayman is bracing itself on land and pulling the other way. The deer's body stretches between you, and you can hear the cayman's teeth grinding as it tries to crush through the spine. You pull harder, wrapping more of your body around the deer's hindquarters, but the cayman suddenly twists its head and rips a chunk of flesh free. The deer's leg slips from your mouth, and the cayman drags the whole carcass onto the bank in one violent motion. You stay in the water and watch as it tears into the body, eating quickly with its head tilted back. There's nothing left for you to take, so you turn and swim back upstream. You spend the rest of the day hunting smaller prey, catching fish and a few water birds that come too close to the surface, but none of them fill you the way that deer would have. You'll remember this, and next time you won't share. Skip forward a bit, and you're 7 years old now. The water levels have dropped with the dry season, and something inside you changes. You need to find a mate, so you start moving through different parts of the river, searching for the right signals. Then you pick up a scent trail in the water, chemical traces left by a female somewhere upstream, so you follow it. After hours of swimming, you find her basking on a mud bank. She's massive, over 7 meters long, with her body coiled loosely in the sun. Another male is already there, smaller than you, lying near her tail. You need to get closer, so you slide onto the bank and move toward her. The other male lifts his head and opens his mouth, showing his teeth, but you don't stop. You're bigger and heavier now, so you push forward and he lunges at you. You meet him in the shallow water with your bodies wrapping around each other, both trying to gain control. He squeezes hard, but you're stronger, so you twist and force his head under the surface. You hold him there, coiling tighter around his body until his movements slow, and he goes limp. Then you release him and watch as he drifts away with the current, still breathing but too weak to fight anymore. The female stays on the bank and doesn't move as you slide up beside her. You coil your body alongside hers, matching her position, and she allows it. Mating lasts for hours with both of you wrapped together in the mud, your bodies tangled so tightly that you can barely tell where one ends and the other begins. After it's done, you separate and slide back into the water. She stays on the bank and you swim away downstream without looking back. In a few months, she'll give birth to dozens of young, but you'll never see them. You're 12 years old now, and nothing in this river challenges you anymore. You're over 7 meters long and weigh more than 100 kilograms, so you've decided to return to the territory you lost years ago. You swim upstream for days until you recognize the bend where the female pushed you out, and when you arrive, she's still there basking on the same mud bank. She sees you come out of the water and starts moving toward you, but this time she's the one who's smaller. You hold your position on the bank and watch as she gets closer, then stops a few meters away. She circles once, looking at your size, then turns and slides back into the river without trying to fight. The territory is yours again. A few days later, you're wading in the shallows when a young cayman walks down to the water's edge. It's maybe 1.5 meters long, big enough to be a decent meal, so you stay completely still and let it come closer. It steps into the water to drink, and that's when you strike. Your jaws close around its body just behind the front legs, and you drag it under before it can react. The cayman twists and tries to bite back, but you're already coiling around it with your body wrapping tight over its legs and chest. You squeeze harder, feeling its ribs start to bend under the pressure. Then you hold it underwater and wait. It struggles for a while, thrashing and rolling, but eventually its movements slow and then stop completely. You keep it submerged for several more minutes just to be certain, then you start the process of swallowing it. Your jaws stretch wide and you work your mouth over its head, pulling it in slowly. It takes nearly an hour to get the whole body down. But when you're finished, you slide onto the bank and lie still in the sun to digest. You've reached the top, but staying here means defending it from every challenger that comes. You're 18 years old, and today something goes wrong. You've just caught a large fish, and you're swallowing it head first, working your jaws over its body, when something sharp scrapes the inside of your throat. A bone lodges deep in the soft tissue, and you can't push it out. You try opening your mouth wide and moving your head side to side, but the bone stays stuck. Days pass, and the wound around the bone starts to swell. Your throat becomes tight, making it harder to swallow anything else. You need to eat, so when you see a capybara walking near the water, you position yourself in the shallows and wait. It comes close enough to strike, so you lunge and grab its leg, but when you try to coil around its body, your strength isn't there. Your muscles feel weak, and you can't squeeze hard enough to finish it. The capybara pulls free and runs back onto the bank, leaving you alone in the water. You retreat to a shallow pool and stop moving, lying with your body half submerged in the mud. The swelling in your throat spreads, making it painful to even open your mouth. Other animals pass nearby, deer and birds coming down to drink, but you don't try to hunt them. You stay where you are and don't move. More than a week goes by, and you haven't eaten anything. Your body starts pulling from its own reserves, using up the fat you've stored over the years. You can see your ribs now, pressing against your scales where they used to be hidden. Your movements become slower, your coils looser, and your eyes start to cloud over. You've survived nearly 2 decades in this river, hunting and fighting and holding territory against everything that challenged you. But now your body is failing from the inside, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Skip forward a bit, and you're 19 years old now. The infection never healed, and the swelling in your throat stayed. You've barely eaten in months, only managing to swallow small fish when you can catch them. Your body has become thin, with your ribs pressing against your scales where muscle used to be. You spend most of your time lying in the shallow pool where you've been for weeks, too weak to hunt anything larger. Then one afternoon, you need to cool down, so you slide into deeper water and let the current move around you. Your body sinks slowly toward the bottom, and moving takes more effort than it used to. You coil loosely around some submerged roots and rest there, letting the water support your weight. Your breathing becomes slower, each breath taking longer than the last. Then it stops completely. Your body stays where it is, wrapped around the roots with your head resting on the riverbed. You don't move again. Small fish start coming closer after a while, curious about the large shape that isn't reacting to them anymore. They nibble at your scales, testing to see if you're a threat, and when you don't respond, more of them arrive. Over the next few days, your body breaks down in the water. Pieces of flesh pull away and drift downstream with the current. Insects and small scavengers move in to feed, taking what they can reach. The fish continue their work, picking at the softer parts until there's less and less left. Eventually, only your skeleton remains on the riverbed, tangled in the roots where you came to rest. The water flows on like it always has, and the territory you held for years is already being claimed by another anaconda moving through the area. Your story is finished, but the river continues without pause.